Hello and welcome back to TriggerSmart. Now, today I want to talk about something that many people are fascinated with and they find very interesting. It's been shown in a lot of movies in Hollywood, Area 51. But there's something very terrible going on. There's some veterans that used to work there, but because it was a secret facility, they're being denied benefits because they never existed.
In a News Nation Network exclusive, Area 51 veterans chosen by the government for top secret work have something in common other than their service. Some now saying they're getting sick with serious health issues, tumors, and cancer. Decades ago, these men were hand-picked, and today they still can't talk about their missions in the desert. But as they get sicker, the vets tell me the Department of Defense still will not acknowledge their service on that range, keeping them classified and unable to get the critical benefits and care they need.
So now, before we get deeper into this, I just want to point out what she's saying. So because they were veterans on Area 51, which was top secret, and still top secret, they're being denied benefits because they're acting like Area 51 is so top secret and what they did there was so secretive that they don't exist and it never happened. So due to that, they're denying benefits to these people.
They keep us classified to protect themselves.
A group of Air Force veterans and a DoD contractor say they have been sickened, even disfigured, after being stationed in the desert in the mid-'80s to early 90s.
Did you have any idea what you were being exposed to?
None. None of us knew.
These veterans say they served at the Nevada Test and Training Range, which encompasses the infamous Area 51, a remote spot that hosted nuclear testing both underground and atmospheric. Since the 1950s, their work so secret there would be no record that the men ever served in the windswept desert.
They said there was over 100 nuclear tests directly on that site, and then they decided to build a base after that for these people to work at. Now, one nuke in Hiroshima, there's still some residual radiation there. And back then, we didn't know, maybe they weren't even as clean as the one in Hiroshima, meaning there could have been worse radiation at higher levels that would last longer. We're here on Wikipedia. We're talking about Area 51, highly classified United States Air Force base in Nevada, test and training range. Now, this is the same place that the current administration would be starting nuclear testing again. So the radiation levels are already high enough, even now, decades later, that these Air Force veterans and other military personnel that work there are getting various cancers and sicknesses, and it's even spreading into their children. Now you can see here, this is where things went wrong. So there was a bunch of nuclear testing there. Over 100 nukes were tested directly on that land. And then it says the United States Air Force and the U.S. CIA acquired the site in 1955, primarily for flight tests of the Lockheed U-2 aircraft.
Dave Creet's son, born with a brain tumor.
Those are the most innocent victims. It was to the point where I felt forsaken. I thought, my God has forsaken me.
Mike Nemsick's 4 bouts with cancer, starting at just 38 years old, have taken a toll. Throat, salivary gland, bladder, and colon.
What was your biggest fear during that period of time?
That I would die and leave a young family without a father, without a provider.
The veterans telling News Nation their medical claims are being denied by Veterans Affairs. The work so top secret, their records are what's called data masked, as if they were never there.
So now this is a huge problem. So the data gets masked in this way because they were top secret, which makes sense. So now because of this data masking, they're being denied basic benefits, basic health and everything else because it's as though they never worked for the government. Now, clearly there was records of them in the government and being military before they went to Area 51. So why can't that be used as a means for them to be able to get the care they need? This seems very sketchy to me. This seems like a case of government corruption to me. You have these veterans who obviously served and then eventually ended up at Area 51. And because of their time there being secretive, which it's not a secret anymore, it's out because they're talking about it. And they have pictures and things there. They have records of them being there. What they did there might be secret, but the fact that they were there seems as though it's proven. So in this case, how can they deny them benefits? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.
We don't deserve being ignored by saying we don't exist.
Now Dave is finally having his moment in front of lawmakers.
I get the calls from the widows. They're terrible phone calls.
So he's fielding all these calls from the other people that they worked with who have died already from these cancers and these other diseases that were caused by the radiation and the toxic chemicals and things that were at the site in Area 51.
We were in the dirt all the time. And I can recall the times where...
Now, he said they were in the dirt all the time, and they were protecting this base for the most part. So the dirt, if you're not familiar with the way that nuclear radiation works, is you have the fallout, especially if you have ground detonations, which is what I think all of them were, because they're trying to keep the radiation as much underground as possible. So that dirt comes up, and then the radiation and stuff goes into those particles, and they fall back down. So the radiation is just mixed in with all the earth and everything and sitting on top of everything. So if they're in it, that means they're getting covered in it, and they're getting direct radiation.
When we'd perspire, that our uniforms would turn kind of a yellowish orange.
Our government knew that that area was contaminated. So knowing that, and they willfully put us there, that's given somebody a death sentence.
We did something important. We did good work.
Dave, I'm so glad to hear that. And tell me more about the visit to the White House earlier this month. What happened?
So it was just an opportunity for me with some of the folks that help us in DC to go talk to various offices, tell them our story, and ask if they can help. And I think it's helping because we know that there's been some phone calls made, and we have right now we have a very singular focus. We have legislation, an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, and that amendment makes the government say, we were exposed. And it will also deem NTTR, Nevada Test and Training Range, as a contaminated location. So we can finally prove exposure.
So they're having to go to these great lengths through the government just for the government to admit they worked there, just so they can try and get treatment for the time that they serve for the military. I mean, this is just crazy. So a lot of people are talking about these other conspiracy theories. The purpose here of all of this and me showing this video is the importance of people saying that the government will take care of us. The government cares about us. So just allow the government to do what they're doing. This is an example of that's not always a good thing. These people served the country. They did it confidently. They did it well. And now they're being denied benefits because they're saying that the work they did there was secretive and that location was secret. So now they're being just left alone to die of these cancers and these horrible different diseases. Their kids are getting diseases as well. Like the one gentleman's kid was born with a tumor. And something needs to be done about this. The government, all the government has to do is acknowledge that they work there. And then they should get coverage. I don't know, this is pretty messed up, but let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think they should get benefits? Do you think the government should, while keeping the classified information classified, at least admit that these people work there and treat them? As always, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next one.